Hello, I'm back. Today again is January 3rd, 2026, and I'm going to be reading Numbers chapter 33, and this is titled Stages in Israel's Journey. And it reads, Here are the stages in the journey of the Israelites when they came out of Egypt by divisions under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. At the Lord's command, Moses recorded the stages in their journey. This is their journey by stages. The Israelites set out from Ramses on the 15th day of the first month, the day after the Passover. They marched out boldly in full view of all of the Egyptians who were burying all of their firstborns, whom the Lord had struck down among them, for the Lord had brought judgment on their gods. The Israelites left Ramses and camped at Succoth. They left Succoth and camped at Etham on the edge of the desert. They left Etham, turned back to Pi Hiroth to the east of Baal Zephon and camped near Migdol. They left Pi Hethroth and passed through the sea into the desert, and when they had traveled for 3 days in the desert of Etham, they camped at Marah. They left Marah and went to Elam, where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees, and they camped there. Then they left Elam and camped by the Red Sea. They left the Red Sea and camped in the desert of Sin. They left the desert of Sin and camped at Dophkah. They left Dophkah and camped at Alush. They left Alush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. They left Rephidim and camped in the desert of Sinai. They left the desert of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hattaavah. They left Kibroth Hattaavah and camped at Hezroth. They left Hezroth and camped at Rithmah. They left Rithmah and camped at Remi Perez. They left Remi Perez and camped at Lebanah. They left Lebanah and camped at Risa. They left Risa and camped at Kelathal. They left Kelathal and camped at Mount Shepher. They left Mount Shepher and camped at Harada. They left Harada and camped at Makloth. They left Makloth and camped at Tatha. They left Tatha and camped at Terah. They left Terah and camped at Mishka. They left Mishka and camped at Hashmanah. They left Hashmanah and camped at Mosrath. They left Mosrath and camped at Ben Jaakan. They left Ben Jaakan and camped at Hor Haggidgad. Haggidgad. Yes, they left Hor Haggidgad and camped at Jotbathah. They left Jotbathah and camped at Abranah. They left Abranah and camped at Ezon Geber. They left Ezon Geber and camped at Kadesh in the desert of Zin. They left Kadesh and camped at Mount Or on the border of Edom. At the Lord's command, Aaron the priest went up Mount Or, where he died, on the first day of the 5th month of the 40th year after the Israelites came out of Egypt. Aaron, who was 123 years old when he died on Mount Or, the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev of Canaan, heard that the Israelites were coming. They left Mount Or and camped at Zalmunna. They left Zalmunna and camped at Punon. They left Punon and camped at Oboth. They left Oboth and camped at Abarim on the border of Moab. They left Liam and camped at Dibon Gad. They left Dibon Gad and camped at Almon Dibithon. They left Almon Dibithon and camped in the mountains of Abiram near Nebo. They left the mountains of Abarim and camped on the plains of Moab by the Jordan, across from Jericho. There, on the plains of Moab, they camped along the Jordan, from Beth Jezimoth to Abel Shittim. On the plains of Moab by the Jordan, across from Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you cross the Jordan into Canaan, drive out all of the inhabitants of the land before you, destroy all their carved images and their cast idols, and demolish all their high places. Take possession of the land and settle in it, for I have given you the land to possess. Distribute the land by lot according to your clans. To a larger group, give a larger inheritance, and to a smaller group, a smaller one. Whatever falls to them by lot will be theirs. Distribute it according to your ancestral tribes. But if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land, those you allow to remain will become barbs in your eyes and thorns in your sides. They will give you trouble in the land where you will live, and then I will do to you what I plan to do to them." So that is going to be the end of Numbers chapter 33. I will pick up in Numbers chapter 34, and that will be titled Boundaries of Canaan. So I hope you'll join me again. Thanks.